Hi, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, when or wherever you may be. Now, uh, this is the third and last video that I will make about the testimony of Secretary of State of the United States Marco Rubio in the House Foreign Affairs Committee in the United States. I would like to ask you, sorry, I would like to ask you to please go and watch the original video in the or the owner of the video's channel, Forbes. A link will be provided in the description. Again, like in previous videos, the video is used only for informative purposes. This video will not be monetized. I will not earn 1 single cent out of this video, even if by any odd chance my channel will be monetized. I have explained why I will probably never monetize this channel. This video will never be monetized for whatever effects, because the content is not mine and I don't like to steal the contents of other people because I think it's immoral. So I would urge you to please go directly to the creator of the video, go and watch them, go see their contents, subscribe if you like their contents, and like the video. Okay, folks, without further ado, let's first watch the video and then we'll have a chat about it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here today, and also thank you for staying until the end so all members can ask questions. A lot of secretaries don't do that, so thank you for doing that.
Tell me that was an option.
Take that up with the chairman. I want to talk. You went through a list of successes for the administration, one of which was the Shield of the Americas, and I know I thank the administration for creating the Shield of Americas and sending Kristi Noem out of the country. I want to focus on Iran for a second. I think when we talk about success, right, success is Iran is no longer pursuing nuclear weapons. Success is that the uranium they have is gone, and it's fulfilling 30 or 40 years of U.S. policy, right? That's success. Do you agree with that?
I mean, ultimately, we did it for a reason. We don't want there to be a nuclear-armed Iran.
So, look, Iran can make whatever pledges they want. It's not worth the paper it's written on. But making sure the nuclear dust is out, making sure the facilities that they have underground are gone, that is success. And I assume you would agree that any deal that you think the president should sign or not sign has to address those core issues.
Absolutely. So the removal of highly enriched uranium is an irreversible step. You remove it or you destroy it, it's not there anymore. On enrichment, those are limits, but if you're not inspecting it, they can always violate it. And as long as they have the equipment and the know-how, they could always violate it in the future as well. So that would have to be, that's the one that would have to be monitored. But the enrichment you could verify immediately because you either have it or you don't.
Yeah, and for me, I think you have to dismantle what's there and you have to get out what's there. I think that's the most critical piece because, Iran has survived multiple administrations. That's their whole goal. Their whole goal is just run out the clock. They've run out of clock previously. And so the idea that they'll pledge to do something in the future, I just don't think we can trust that. Once we pull away the military, once we move on to another topic, their pledge is kind of irrelevant. Getting what's there removed, I think has to be the most important thing. Otherwise, it's hard to convince, I think, the American people that it was worth the success. We talked a lot about critical minerals. I think the administration is doing a really good job on critical minerals, these rare minerals that we need for our military, for technology. But I don't think the American people understand how important it really is and what China is doing around the world. I mean, do you think the administration could do a slightly better job on educating the American people why this is so important and why they should care about that?
Yeah, I think we all need to do a better job. And I started talking about this issue when I was in the U.S. Senate, but frankly, it's not that sexy. You have to explain it to people because they have to understand that you can build the greatest car in the world. You can build the greatest plane in the world. You can build the greatest weapons system in the world, and you can build the greatest technology and infrastructure in the world. If it's missing one little thing, one chip, one element that you need to build it. If it's missing that, the whole thing doesn't work. You can't do it.
Yeah.
I think back to the magnets that are critical to the cars. And when the Chinese cut us off and the world off of those magnets that they were producing for cars, no, I wasn't even that conversant in the issue before it happened. So I think there are vulnerabilities like that. We've mapped out those vulnerabilities. I would agree. I think this is going to require a sustained public campaign to tell people when we talk about critical minerals, what we're actually talking about and why it's important.
And I think that's right. And I think people don't understand exactly the long game that China is playing. And I think it's important for U.S. foreign policy around the world. Mr. Secretary, you know, the war in Gaza is all over my algorithm, all over my feed every day. But you know what's not on my algorithm or anyone else's algorithm here or the kids in college? There's nothing about the Ukraine-Russia war, about the hundreds of thousands of people that are dead in that war, or the 25,000 people that were kids that were kidnapped, or all the kids that were killed in that war, the terrible images that exist in a real war. Why is it, do you think, and is it the Chinese again, that, you know, the algorithm is full of what's going on in the Middle East, but the Ukraine-Russia war, nothing. No images, no stories about the kids, no stories about the hundreds of thousands of people that are dead.
Yeah, I can't speak to the algorithms and what those systems are doing with regards to that. I can tell you that in addition to what you've just mentioned, I do think that, this is my observation, this war has now lasted longer than the Second World War. It's, I don't want to use the term stalemate, but clearly both sides are trading a kilometer for a kilometer, an incredible death rate. The Russians are losing 5,000 soldiers a week, which is a crazy number. And the Ukrainians are losing people too, but not nearly as many are at the rate. It's sort of a stalemated, stagnated fight that now I think threatens to escalate because we're seeing these deep strikes into Russia and deep strikes into Kyiv.
And I don't want to cut you off, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I have only 9 seconds left. Cuba, real quick. Thank you guys for indicting Raul Castro. I wish it would have happened years ago. The Cuban people deserve to be free. The time has come. I'd love just to give you a minute or to talk about what you see for that island in the coming years.
And just to be clear, we didn't indict Raul Castro. A grand jury in South Florida indicted him, and then
Americans indicted.
Yeah, but I know what you meant. I'm just saying I want to be clear. It was done through a grand jury. It wasn't. I've spoken to this a few moments ago as well. We'd like to see a better future in Cuba, one in which the Cuban people have something that looks like the way every other country in the Caribbean lives. The impediment there, unfortunately, is this military conglomerate that controls 70% of their GDP, and none of its revenue translates to the Treasury, and therefore doesn't translate to the benefit of the Cuban people. So we're open to an arrangement that allows that process to begin. They're the ones that have been recalcitrant. In the meantime, we're prepared to provide humanitarian assistance to the people of Cuba, so long as it's distributed by non-governmental organizations that are trusted, like Samaritan's Purse, Caritas through the Catholic Church, the UN, others. But it can't be stolen and wind up in the Gaesa dollar stores. That can't happen.
Representative Zinke.
Now, I'm sure that you are wondering, why did this guy showed this video where someone is clearly very friendly with Mr. Rubio, where he is he's practically saying the answers before Rubio answers him back. That is, I think he said thank you to the administration around 3 or 4 times. Why am I showing you this? Because in the previous videos I showed you people, 2 ladies, that had positions that were against the administration, so to speak. And now I showed you what is the answer of the administration, of the Republican Party, all of it. I wouldn't call it the Republican Party. I would call the Trump sycophants. Their answer is this: is to give a veneer of legality to the crimes that have been committed. So it's very good that they are fighting in Iran. It's very good that they did what they did to Venezuela, that Israel is doing what it's doing in Lebanon, because it's for the greater good, for the rare earth minerals and all of that. Now, China has indeed been playing the long role. But who who allowed China to become the workshop of the world, who was very comfortable in having Chinese and Southeast Asian kids work their ass off in factories, losing their infancy, losing their time, losing their lives, losing their health, so that they could get cheaper gadgets, cheaper goods, the Trump phone made in China, to provide the United States with the materials for the United States to build their weapons of death. Who was very comfortable about all of that? The Americans. And now this question about the war in Ukraine. Did you see how he treated it? He did not treat it as an invasion. He treated it as a war, as if both parties were responsible for the war to happen. He failed to mention who invaded Ukraine. Not a single word about the country that was the greatest guarantor of Ukraine's independence and territorial integrity. The United States. Not a single word. The same speech, trying to put them at the same level in the same disgusting, bootlicking shit conversation. Sorry. I think it's disgusting for someone to speak in this way. Oh yes, yes, you are securing. Well, this is very important. How can you say to the people that this is very important? Yes. Who started the terrorist wars? Who invaded Venezuela and kidnapped the president and his wife? Who is doing the shit that they are doing in the Hormuz Strait right now? Who? Don't people understand the incredible stupidity of their affirmations? Rare earths can be bought and negotiated. China was not stopping the United States from getting their rare earths, but they were profiting on it. Of course they were. This would put them in a position of strength before the United States. But the United States could have easily negotiated with Venezuela, even with all the issues, if they acted like a like a decent country. They could have negotiated with Venezuela to have those rare earths, just like other countries are doing. The EU, we negotiated with Australia for Australia to supply us some of the rare earths that we need, because we also have some. We also have lithium. Portugal has one of the largest reserves of lithium in Europe, for example. This is an example, okay? But they negotiated. We have also negotiated with China. Why not? Canada is negotiating with China also. We are all negotiating, and the key word here is negotiating, because their key word and the mindset of the person that was questioning Mr. Rubio and of Mr. Rubio himself is, how can the United States exploit this resource without giving nothing back? And then this entire, oh, thank you for indicting Raul Castro. Yes, thank you. Oh, it was not us. It was some district attorney in Florida. Number one, cringe. Number two, clearly inserted in that question for a reason. And number three, a fucking lie. Cuba is what Cuba is because of the United States and of the Cubans themselves, of course. Okay, I'm not one of those guys that says, the United States, the big bad devil that did this. And no, no, no. I'm not that type of guy. Okay, I can recognize the veneers and the fine detail of those types of things. But indicting someone in Cuba, the last brother of Fidel Castro, indicting an old man instead of sitting down with the people that are currently in power and try to solve the issues that those people are having, blockading an entire island and letting people die because they don't even have power of drinkable water, and saying, oh, there is a military complex that is dominating everything, and if we send food and supply, they are going to sell it. Do you realize how fucking disgusting this is when there are people dying? When there are children in the hospitals dying because there is no electricity? When there are people that cannot do their dialysis because there is no electricity? Do you realize how disgusting this all is? And you talk about, oh, thank you, my dear savior, for indicting that terrible person, Mr. Castro. Again, they don't think about the people. They only think about themselves. Their little petty hearts. Petty is the word that best describes the current state of the American politics. I don't even want to call them American, because I don't want to involve the Canadians and the Mexicans in this shit, in this mire. And look, and I see, and you people will tell me, oh, but the Democrats are not controlling Congress and this and that. Okay. Okay. Now tell me another story. You don't have checks and balances, okay? You cannot walk out and enforce things. You cannot do anything except pray that you are able to, in the midterms, to give yourselves a big blue wave and wash away all the evil of the Trump regime. Okay. The same Americans that I saw in a very interesting video calling Europeans parasites and that they were paying for our healthcare and all of that, those guys and girls, they are going to be there, even if they vote Democrat. That pettiness, that rot that is in the society, it will still be there. And it's a rot. It's a rot. And I have no hopes about it, honestly. This is the final video that I'm going to make about this, the hearing of Mr. Rubio. Because you want to know what? I was going to make some more videos about it, but it's so disgusting. It's all the same thing, okay? You have some people enabling the speech of the administration. You have other people trying to ask questions and get direct answers and going nowhere because the man, he contradicts himself. He doesn't answer the questions. He answers a question with another question, or he answers to a completely different question, or he ignores the question, or what. It's the same saying, okay? It's this endless sitcom of questions and answers that look like a bad video game. This is the only thing. This is the only analogy that I can make. A very bad video game where you have these useless, for example, a bad RPG, where you have these useless questions and or quests, like for example, you need to open a door in the middle of a village, and the key is sitting in the tomb of some old priest that is buried underneath the garbage dump of the village, 7 villages away, or some shit like that. Okay, things that don't make any sense. And look, maybe I'm too European to understand this shit. Maybe I'm too European to understand this. But I have seen Asian people also looking at this and going like, so it must not be just me. But this is a sitcom for them. They don't realize they are playing with people's lives. Sorry. And I don't think they even care. So what are we going to do about this? I tell you what we are going to do about this. I think we should do like that, like a German deputy MP that here in the European Parliament said, that the transatlantic relationship with the United States is dead. And I don't know if it's dead already, but it's deadish. No, folks. Thank you very much for listening to me, for watching this video with me, for listening to my rants. I thank you very much for coming. I would like to personally thank each and every one of you for your support, for coming back, for watching my videos and my contents, for giving me your comments, for giving me your feedback. I will ask you my forgiveness if I sometimes miss the answers in a couple of comments, but sometimes I simply get distracted, okay? If by any chance I do not answer one of your comments, look, please, don't think that it's on purpose or whatever. It's just because I forgot or something like that, okay? Uh, don't don't make me out to be someone that I am not. Folks, thank you very much for coming, and I hope to catch you all in the next one.